I was very impressed by all the presenters today doing their presentations without notes. Unfortunately, I know my qualities, so I have notes. And just to make sure that I give you the story that I want to tell you, I'll sort of read from my text. The title of the position I applied for more than 3.5 years ago was Change Manager. One of the biggest challenges was the development towards an organization that is able to quickly respond and efficiently to questions from users and changes in the environment. With more than 30,000 students and approximately 7,000 employees spread over 7 faculties, Utrecht University is one of the largest universities in the Netherlands. The strategic plan describes the ambition that research at our university contributes to solutions for highly complex societal challenges. And the university also describes the ambition that in 2020 it aims to operate at the forefront of open science. That means it will make the results of its research publicly available, and in order to better disseminate and apply this knowledge around the world. Our researchers are part of interdisciplinary communities that collect, analyze and share data together. And I can also inform you that very soon we're looking forward to go with a very ambitious open science plan for the next few years, which is currently discussed in the university, but we think we'll have a go very soon. So very happy for that. In January 2016, the university took in effect the policy framework for research data. The data policy is aimed at the quality, availability and accessibility of research data within our university, and also provides the basis for evaluating compliance with laws, regulations and codes of conduct. It clearly delineates the responsibilities in terms of the roles to be fulfilled by various parties. But it also recognizes its limits, for it is the faculties or research institutes that are in charge of the research objects, and the policy framework does not make any provisions for this. And also it's not the purpose of the policy to obligate researchers to work with prescribed tools when preserving and releasing research data. The spectrum of our research, the research of our university is simply too diverse to impose general guidelines. In mid-2016, the Research IT program has started. The program runs for 5 years and it consists of 2 main components. First, research data management, including the projects Ibm Support, the repository and findability of Utrecht University research data. And secondly, e-infrastructure, to provide an excellent network, sustainable solutions for storage and high-performance computing. Research IT is a program where the IT services department and the university library work closely together. The result for our researchers is support and IT solutions in the area of data management and data exchange. There are several aspects to mention when setting up support. Well, firstly, we set up services in a fast-changing field. It is a relatively new area which knowledge must be built up. Developments in technologies are fast, so that new opportunities are constantly emerging. And time is an important factor. At this moment, data stewardship is still primarily a role for experts, but perhaps soon, who knows, it will be mainly business as usual for researchers. And secondly, research data management is a broad field that often requires in-depth knowledge. The various areas of RDM expertise at our university are located in more than one organizational unit, namely within the administration department, the library, and of course, not to be forgotten, within the faculties. So how do we organize and govern our organization in such a way that flexibility is maximized? And how do we organize our partnerships? In the coming presentation, I will give you an impression of the way in which we organize research data management support on the basis of 3 examples. First, I focus on the university level, and give you the example of Ibm Support. And then I'll focus on the university library and how it is organized in order to make a maximum contribution to supporting researchers. And third, and finally, we look at a specific service, the central pool of data managers, embedded specialists working in research projects. And I describe in which way this service offers a concrete solution in a field that is strongly in motion. The first example at university level is Ibm Support. And Ibm Support is the knowledge and expert network on research data management of our university. It offers its researchers trainings, tools, infrastructure, guidance and support under one umbrella. The library, together with IT services, is the driving force behind Ibm Support. And in addition, specialists from the legal department, privacy and security officers and grant officers from each faculty supply their expertise. It's about, I think, altogether 19 people, experts from the central level, and then all the people from within the faculty, so quite a large group of experts. The governance for support needs to be flexible, because what knowledge or parties do we need on board and at what time? What services do we offer? Do we need more or maybe less? And who is best capable and has the best knowledge to make an informed decision on this? And to what extent is this support structure in the current form desirable and sustainable in the longer term? Ibm Support is organized as a network structure, and yes, we also use radars. The content is the sum of services that arise from the various expertises. The development, execution, evaluation and innovation of the services is the responsibility of the delivering organizational unit. This way of working ensures that all parties can contribute to a shared goal in a way that reflects their field of knowledge. At the moment, Ibm Support is still a project on the Research IT program and has initially been formed by individuals who found each other in a joint topic. That raises the question, of course, of how we ensure that it can continue to exist in a sustainable way when the Research IT program is finished. At the moment, we're on the brink of a next step in the professionalization of Ibm Support, where a lean governance structure of 1.5 FTE is guaranteed by the largest two suppliers, IT services and the library. This team is responsible for the coordination, communication and organization of the network. The joint final responsibilities lie with the heads of the IT service and myself from the library. With this, we give substance to the vulnerability of the current construction. We ensure that the responsibility for the network is embedded within the formal organizational structure and that the servers as a total package can survive and can continue to develop in a flexible network structure. Our researchers have one single point of contact, and our front door is the Ibm Support website. Here they find information on all aspects of research data management. The website contains various guides, on the left, such as data management planning, cost of data management and handling personal data. And the website also provides an overview of available tools and services, such as tools for storing and managing data, data analysis and modeling, and training and workshops. As for questions from researchers, it's our ambition that you're directly assisted by an expert. The organization of this at the back end may never be a problem for the researchers. In our experience, only a small part of the questions cannot be answered immediately and will be forwarded to a colleague expert. The second example is about how the library maximizes flexibility and collaboration in the field of research data management. Since the summer of 2017, the library has converted its organizational structure from a front and back office model to a model based on 3 clusters of services: collection services, public services and academic services. Research data management is organized in the academic services sector, whose mission is to develop research and education support towards open science on the way to 2020. We do this by providing advice, information, training, or embedded specialists on the themes of open science, learning, and collections. A few years ago, we were under the assumption that subject specialists could gradually be trained in the field of research data management. However, the field of expertise grew very fast, and also the demand for technical and didactic skills of our people increased. And also, furthermore, we work closer to or even in the research projects, which requires deeper knowledge of the entire research process. And a gap appeared between the demand for specialist expertise and what our subject specialists were able to deliver in the short term. Okay. We confronted ourselves with questions such as, how can we be close to our users so that we can answer questions as quickly as possible and, at the same time, offer in-depth expertise? What services do we offer and what is relevant to which discipline of researcher? At Utrecht University Library, we choose to continue using the matrix model. We work with subject specialists who are the first point of contact for their researchers in the faculty and who have disciplinary knowledge and good network in the faculty. Those are the vertical bars. They inform and advise researchers on a wide range of subjects, including data management, and tackle questions such as data management plan checks. They refer researchers to the online training Learn to Write Your Data Management Plan and to the various guides and tools just mentioned. The other side of the matrix is filled by experts, overall RDM specialists, the interoperability specialists, and our data managers. These experts offer in-depth expertise and provide advice in more complex issues, train users on specific topics, and provide customized services. The embedding of the services and their further development has very recently changed by organizing academic services in subject teams. And these teams consist of specialists, in this case RDM specialists, and several subject specialists. The team is responsible for the day-to-day organization, evaluation and further development of the services. Also for the implementation and the increase of use of the services, and they are responsible for sharing knowledge with colleagues and trend watching. For now, at this moment, we're bridging the gap. We expect that in the longer term, as knowledge and experience grows, more and more tasks can be taken over from RDM specialists by the subject specialists. And the matrix provides for a lasting, close collaboration between the two. By organizing the responsibility for the service close to the implementation, we're able to quickly respond to changes in demand and developments in our environment. And then I'll go to the last example. The third example that I'd like to give you is the organization of a service that offers a solution to researchers in a strongly changing context, the central data manager as an embedded specialist. This new service is being developed by the library and is part of the service palette of the Ibm Support. We know the number of issues surrounding data management within research projects. Knowledge of data management is scarce, as already mentioned, both within and outside our university. Secondly, the request for data management support within our faculties is often of a temporary nature and may differ from an operational to a strategic level. And finally, the hiring of external resources is often expensive and knowledge disappears when the job is done. So how do we give substance to the demand for scarce goods? And how do we ensure that data managers can be deployed effectively and efficiently, offer solutions at different levels, and make efficient use of the other existing support facilities? We set up a pool of data managers for this purpose, consisting of 3 people. So they contribute to issues across the entire data cycle. At the start, together with researchers, they set up data management, including workflows and protocols. During research, They work on issues like quality management of data sets and automating those quality checks, new guidelines or regulations like our GDPR, specific projects or unforeseen problems. And finally, at the end of the cycle, to prepare for publication, use or reuse of data sets. 2 colleagues have already started, and there's still 1 vacancy to fill, so we're hiring. Our data managers work on a project base for a temporary but substantial amount of time. They work mostly on generic data management tasks, in addition to discipline-specific data managers within the faculties. So the data managers work on a generic level, but work together and work together with the data managers who work, or people who work on data management within the faculties, and combine both expertises together. We have the ambition to work 75% on average within research projects on a secondment base. And I don't know if I translated this word right, but that means that the researcher or the research project pays the library for hiring the data manager. This way we provide for the temporality of the demand for resources on the one hand, and on the other we retain scarce knowledge for our university. The data managers are part of the Ibm Support network and thus form an important bridge function to the other experts available. This project runs for a minimum of 3 years, and maybe the field looks different by then, but for now we offer a suitable solution for an urgent problem. To conclude, change is the only constant, a Greek philosopher in the old days once said. And this also applies to organizational structures. One model that offers the public the perfect solution does not exist. You better be prepared and build on structures, partnerships and cooperation where flexibility remains possible. Thank you for listening. As I understand, there's time for questions.
There's time for questions.
Yeah.
So raise your hands and Marta will bring you the mic. No questions?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Sorry, I have the mic. I'm very curious about the model that you have presented with the data managers that are available, to be sort of hired by different projects and paid for by the project. Yeah. And I was just wondering, how does it work in practice? Do you have any data, let's say, how many projects use the support of these data managers, and also how busy they are? Do you need to hire more of these data managers? Are they 50% busy helping projects? Any insight would be really great.
Yeah. Well, our first data manager started last summer on a large project, and basically he was busy full-time. And our second colleague started at the 1st of April, and we decided to draw the first one a little bit more back. So he works for 3.5 days on the project now, and we have the other colleague filling in the extra time, so that both of them have their hands free to pick up other projects. And actually today I learned that we just got the second project, and we're also talking, and what is interesting, because the first project is within one of our strategic themes, Dynamics of Youth, which is a huge interdisciplinary research program that goes over several faculties, from the medical faculty to social sciences. So our data manager works for basically all the data that is gathered over there and has very broad experience, to be honest. The second project that came in today is at the veterinarian faculty, and we're also talking with geosciences, which I expect that they will come forward very soon, and the law, economy and government studies. So the interesting thing is that we see that there really is a demand, even with this, the thing, well, you're a generic data manager, what do you know of our data? In reality, I think data is very alike in all these studies, and the forms of data can be alike. And by working together with the data managers or people who work with data within the faculties, you sort of have a generic and discipline-specific task that you fit together. And that makes one solution.
Thank you. Can you say something about who takes the major responsibility for the data management? Are these data managers or the project initiators themselves?
Basically the project initiators themselves. So the ones responsible for the research project are responsible, and we're sort of flying in and flying out. Yeah. Maybe for 4 months, 2 days a week, maybe for a year, 1 day a week, or more or less, but yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You don't have much work flowing.
And it's better when it comes to each other.
So the project managers, they pay, or the money is coming from the project. So maybe sometimes they say like, oh, we don't need the data managers, we don't want to spend money on it. Does it happen sometimes? So
It can.
So you really have to convince.
No, then I'll say, then I'll go to the next one, because we only have 3 people.
But they have to be made aware, they have to
Yeah.
publicity for there. You can hire a data manager, you can.
Yeah, it of course it raises some questions, but we try to explain that you also hire a student assistant. So if you need things done within your research project that needs to be done, you need people for that. And why think of an external solution and hiring people from the outside and then pay for it, and not do it if your university offers this solution themselves? And the reason why we choose for setting up a central service is that we had several examples within the university that there were sort of lone wolves, people who were doing data management on their own, and they're sort of starved in their job because they didn't have any peers, they couldn't learn from each other, they couldn't keep up with all the different developments in the job and the world around them. So it was really hard to keep up with all the changes in the data management field. And that's why we decided to cluster it together and make a team, and also to make sure that all the data management people in the faculties, they're all gathered in a knowledge network as well. So it's not that they're left outside, or we all come together every 2 months and exchange information as well. So it's more collaboration. Yeah. And I think if you look in 5 years' time, the world looks differently. But for now, this is a sort of solution that can bridge the gap in the meantime.
Okay, thank you very much.